Top 10 richest countries in Europe. Europe is the second smallest continent in the world. Despite these, however, it has a great share in the world's wealth. With abundant natural resources and strong trade relations with the rest of the world, the developed economies of Europe have weathered the storm of the 2007 and 2010 financial crisis to show year-on-year growth in the preceding period. Today, we take a look at 10 top richest European countries in the world according to their GDP per capita. GDP per capita is a metric that breaks down a country's economic output per person and is calculated by dividing the GDP of a country by its population. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification to get updates when we release new content. Number 10. Denmark. 51,643 US dollars GDP per capita. Denmark has a small open market economy and has a high dependence on foreign trade. This liberal trade policy has boosted its exports and makes about 50% of its GDP. As a member of the European Union, it has the option to join the Economic and Monetary Union of Europe, but has thus far opted to obtain an independent currency. Denmark follows the traditional Nordic social model, with a high tax rate associated with a high level of government-funded services. High taxation contributes significantly to the country's overall income. In 2017, for example, the total tax paid amounted to 50% of the GDP. Number 9. Austria. 51,936 US dollars GDP per capita. Most of Austria's trade historically is with Germany. Since joining the European Union, however, it has developed trade relations with other members of state and has drawn a growing number of investors. In 2018, its GDP showed growth on previous years and now sits at 51,936 US dollars. By sector, this breaks it down to 1.3% from agriculture and 28.4% from industry and 70% from services. Number 8. Germany. 52,800 US dollars GDP per capita. Germany's developed social market economy has seen growth in recent years. Being the second largest exporter in the world, Germany has made strides to develop a fortune for itself and has shown no signs of slowing down soon. Its service sector is by far the largest contributor to GDP, which is around 70%, while industry contributes 29% and agriculture 0.9%. In terms of trade, vehicles, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, rubber, plastic, food products constitute the bulk of exports. Number 7. Sweden. 53,000 US dollars GDP per capita. The highly developed export-oriented economy of Sweden has evolved in the recent years by agriculture economy into one with major dependencies on engineering, mining, deep and pulp. Sweden follows the Nordic model of high income taxes like other Nordic countries. In terms of revenue, it has the fourth highest total tax revenue as percentage of GDP in Europe and the second in the Baltic. By sector, 65% of GDP comes from services, 33% from industries, 1.6% from agriculture. Number 6. Iceland. 54,000 US dollars GDP per capita. Iceland has a small economy that was hit by the 2007 to 2010 financial crisis. This forced the country to request emergency funding from the International Monetary Fund in 2008. It has enjoyed a recovery in the subsequent years. However, recent growth can be contributed to a booming tourism trade, which now accounts for more than 10% of Iceland's GDP. Similar growth has been seen in the software and biotech industry. Fishing continues to be a key contributor to the country's finances, providing 12% of GDP and 40% export earnings. Number 5. Netherlands. 56,000 US dollars GDP per capita. The Netherlands has evolved in the sales of natural gas since 1959. This has been a huge source of revenue for the Netherlands. Conversely, it has also seen a key factor in the decline of Dutch manufacturing sector, leading to the economic theory of Dutch disease. The prosperity of the country is heavily dependent on foreign trade, with chemicals, machinery, equipment, and food products serving as the primary export commodities. By sectors, 70.2% of GDP comes from services, 17.9% from industry, and 1.6% from agriculture. Number 4, Switzerland, $63,000 GDP per capita. Switzerland has a free market economy and is one of the biggest free market economies in the world. It has seen some growth in recent years. This is due to its highly developed service sector, which includes one of the world's most significant banking industries. Overall, services make up a healthy 73.7% of GDP. Industries make up most of the remaining contributions, while agriculture makes up less than 1%. Number 3, Norway, $74,000 GDP per capita. Norway boasts of one of the highest standards of living of any European country and a similar prosperous economy. Norway has a mixed economy that is highly dependent on natural resources and remains one of the world's largest petroleum exporters. Norway's reliance on the industry is relatively high. 34.7% of GDP comes from industry, while 63.5% comes from services and 1.6% from agriculture. Rich in natural resources such as oil, gas, timber, and fish, Norway has a strong export economy that is ranked as the world's largest exporter of seafood after China. Number 2, Ireland, $79,900 GDP per capita. Ireland faced a fall in 2018, which was triggered by the slow domestic demand and a contraction in the relative construction-related investments. Ireland's small modern economy is still one of the strongest in Europe. This is due to the strong export, low inflation rate, healthy employment growth. Lenient tax residency requirements have historically made Ireland a target for international firms, making firms looking to benefit from a low tax rate. While recent years have seen the introduction of more stringent tax laws, the economy is still set to grow. Number 1, Luxembourg, $110,800 GDP per capita. Luxembourg is a landlocked country with a robust economy. It has a low inflation rate as well as a low unemployment rate. Since 2002, the government has rolled out policies to encourage diversity and increase investment in medical, ICT, and financial fields, among others, in terms of its wealth. Luxembourg's financial study is key, accounting for more than 35% of GDP. This owes to the growth of the investment fund sector since the launch of the cross-border funds in the 1990s, which has pushed Luxembourg to the second position in the ranking of the world's largest investment fund assets domiciles. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please check out our other videos and do not forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification to get alert when we release new content. Until then, next time.